Hello.
Hi.
The Trader's Way home. It's about 15,000 to 18,000 gallons. If we get rid of 500 gallons every day, that'll only take 30 days. And we could drain it completely before we leave. Drain it completely before we leave. I thought you didn't want a big, empty, ugly pool for the party. Yes, but if we wait till we come back. They sat shaded from the morning sun by their neighbor's fence and roof line. The electronic fire blazed effortlessly behind them, and they looked at each other with the secrets of 20 years held in the buckets between their eyes. The pool was no longer a home to their children's bodies, the children all being adults now and not living there. No longer the thick hands of the sun, no longer the cool arms of the water around hip, chin, inside ear, across blinking eyeball, over and over, no longer. So the draining began. A garden hose fattened up like a fake snake and gushed out the water into the drain on the street. 500 gallons a day for 30 days. On the 30th day, they found the hidden thing. The hidden thing will come to you and it will be good. The line break is dead, he says that morning before the thing came, and all around them the walls were dreary with silence. She imagined the break of the line, a corpse jumbled in the back of a murderer's car. She thought of the missing thing, and she called to it in her secret voice. The hidden thing will come to you, and it will not look exactly how you thought it would look, and it will not be named what you thought it would be named. But it will fill what needed filling. It will sing to a silence so deep that broken glass will grow together again. It will riddle change out of you. It will bounce the change around. You will look at the change and then at the thing, and then you will keep looking at the thing and say, yes, I'm glad you are here in the real life. Not just the hidden. The hidden thing has been on Earth for a little while, not forever. It was born from a mother like you. It came out with eyes closed and grunting against its siblings. It wanted to be loved. It wanted to be fed. It grew. It knew loneliness and danger like you. The hidden thing saw some buildings and fields that you might have seen. The hidden thing saw you. The hidden thing saw you. He lifts the cover to the pool's debris catch in the very deep end, and underneath it there was a fairly good-sized space, deep but not wide, which had hid it, who knows for how long. The same debris catch the children had dared each other to go down and touch while holding their breath, their noses making desperate bubbles after their tan fingers hit the cover and bound skyward again, to think how close they were to touching the hidden thing. The thing they found was a starfish of sorts with 8 limbs. He was fascinated by it, and he picked it up with his bare hands, and he shouted to her, "Look what was in the pool drain! Come see!" It felt like a starfish, but it had claws on some of its limbs, and it had protrusions of bone like teeth on its center. It had tufts of fur and eyes like a bear. When she came out to see it, she said, "Oh my God, what is that? Have you ever seen anything like that? It's alive?" He loved it. Such was the way of life, he thought to himself, strange things showing up in odd places. He kept it in his study. At night, she would go to visit it there after he had fallen asleep. Cold, her hand in the water, slimy the touch of the thing, surprising, exciting the claws reaching around her hand, the pressure of the teeth against her palm. At first, this was all just to touch it. Then to take it out, then to take it out every night, then to call it her bear fish, her bear. Then to dream that the thing lived under a drain cover in her, that it belonged under her belly, under the drain of that squirmed up hole, the belly button, that she could hear the thing speak its hidden thing language. It spoke sorrow and the lapping shame. It spoke lisping laughter and wilting desire and raging fear. She laughed in the dream. She laughed with it, the wild, hidden thing. She began to let it rest on top of her. It smelled intensely of chlorine, and she would breathe it in, and its scales were smooth and iridescent like tiny opals, and it pulsed. And when she put it on her belly, she could feel it pulsing in time with her heart, with the blood in her veins. This had a calming effect, and she fell asleep with the thing on her stomach once, and then often. She dreamt of the pool water draining out, and the hoses and the pipes and the sewers. She dreamt of the drain screws and the screwdriver which lifted it off and the burst of sunlight on the thing. She dreamt she was the thing, and it longed to go back to darkness, to surrender itself again into the keeping of darknesses. She dreamt she was the thing. And the house fire came, and Bearfish died, and the cat Thomas, and 2 birds her husband had kept in their daughter's room. Such is the way of life, she thought to herself. The wild things must go. Hush, said his fur into my skin, grave silent, his upside-down mouth, genderless comforter, older than sex itself, but what comes after the death of something unborn, stillborn love. His body shielded by layers of water like thread, and goose down would survive, but my happiness could not. Trauma, the body is made for trauma. And despair, he would whisper back to me, oh yes, despair, you must be ready for it. And we would both turn our heads to the absent stars. Pose comfort, cradle held, bringer of sleep, who forgotten dies. How can one recycle such a receptacle of sorrow, such a compact home for love? No, he must be in my arms. He will carry me forward stoically, without a splinter of judgment, pressed to my monster's body night after night. He will let me dream of others. He does not mind. Bear, not I am born, but I bear. Swift, timeless, his torn away eye, his reaching arm. When I outgrew him, I still longed for him, how terribly I held him away. The same things cannot always provide for us. The same things cannot always provide. I stopped believing in him, for I stopped loving. His warnings had not worked, not with his soulful eyes, nor his hidden tongue. In despair, I longed for invisibility alone. Healing cannot be worth it. And comfort was a myth I wove when a fire pounced on my house like a panther in the night. But in looking back, in remembrance, I feel a certain familiar fuzzy arm on my heart, a heavy weight resting on my belly. I remember the trader's way home.